So I read a book a while back. It's called When Breath Becomes Air. And it was about this doctor who was just getting his life like on track, and he's super successful, and he gets his wife pregnant. Then all of a sudden he gets cancer, and it takes him through that journey of he's dying, and he has a baby, and he just follows him through that. And it's actually a true story. He wrote this book, and I believe his wife finished it, or someone else finished it for him. Well, shoot, it was really eye-opening. I was like, wow, that is really crazy. Of like this super successful guy, and his party gets ended way sooner than he wanted it to. So I posted on my Facebook, I posted that I read the book, and it was awesome. And someone else then responded, hey, if you like that, you should get the book. What was the name of it? Being Mortal by Atul Gawande. I was like, all right, that was a good book. So When Breath Becomes Air, it's a must read. You guys got it. It's an emotional book. It might be some tears, but I don't know. It's very, very worth reading. So Being Mortal, I just got finished with that one. And that one really, it's kind of sort of related, but not as much as I thought it was going to be from the recommendation. But really what I took from this book was what people are going through when they're dying, like when they're at the end of their life, and what they want. And doctors, when they're having it doesn't have to be very old people. It could be people that have cancer, and they're going through a lot of hard chemo and surgeries on the body. And really, the way the doctors, in this gentleman's mind, should respond to the patients. And things are not always as, hey, I want to keep you alive as long as humanly possible. Well, in a perfect world, if you're not in pain, or if your whole body's working perfectly, or like you're not just like on a tube sitting there, sure, you're alive, but what's that quality of life? So this book was really eye-opening for me. Like, wow, I never even thought of stuff like that. Of like, if you're at the end, and what do you really want out of a surgery? What's the best case scenario of doing a surgery? What's the worst case scenario, and the likelihood of you being completely just bedridden with just being a brain that doesn't even function? Now, taking those odds and figuring out which is the best path for you. So then this got me thinking, like, man, that's a lot. Wow, I never even, I'm turning 40. So I'm starting to think about, not to use this word, but I'm not, like, a few years ago, I never thought I would ever die. I never thought like it would ever be the end. It would just go forever. I was like, I'll never get sick. I'll never everything. But now I got a family now, got a little boy on the way. I'm just thinking like, wow, I'm just thinking differently. And then that got me thinking of like, man, I'm turning 40, right? And I have a lot of things I want to accomplish and be around. And I am going to fight like hell with the things I can control to be there as long as I can, like this, for as long as I could think of. What I'm saying is, sure, I can get hit with the bad luck gene, and something terrible could happen to me. I can get struck down, and stuff out of my control. Or I could remember the things I want to accomplish, and I want to see my children grow up. I want to see their children's children, well, maybe not their children's children, maybe, I don't know, grandfather, all that stuff. But it's not just going to happen because I want it to happen. Well, let me back up a little bit. I want all that stuff, but I also want to be the active and do things and not have people wheel me around because of decisions I've made. Not because of, I get hit by a bus or something, or I get whatever, an infliction that takes my legs away. I'm not talking about that. But I'm talking about, do I take care of myself now? Do I make proper eating choices? Am I active? Am I planning for the future? Like all of you guys are watching this, you actually care, you invest. You're putting away your 401k. You're putting away in retirement. You're putting away in life insurance. You're investing. You're buying this. You're buying that to pay off in the end. So what I'm actually talking about is investing in my long-term health and ability to be this guy as I'm 80, 90 plus. Like, that shit matters to me right now. I'm thinking about that. I'm reading these books like, man, these guys get their lives just blown up. That's crazy. All right, well, that could happen to some people. But what if my life is just perfect for 50 more years? But what quality of life am I gonna have towards the end? What am I gonna be able to do? Am I gonna be the grandparent that lays on the couch and naps all the time, has no energy and just kind of grumpy and just kind of walks with a hump in my back and just kind of like, I get up in the morning, I read the paper, I read stuff, but then I nap and I'm just kind of existing for like the last however many years. I've seen that in my life and I'm like, wow. I wonder if that person at the end said, man, I should have took care of myself. I don't know. But I do know with our knowledge today and all the studies of strength training and eating well and your diet and your mind and learning and staying stimulated and all these things we know now. Like, I find it to be like negligent to not start preparing. As a parent, I feel like I have an obligation. I brought these children into the world. I have a wife. I married her. It's not just about me anymore to take care of me because I have other people relying on me. I'm not here to preach. I was just thinking about this. I'm like, man, this would be a good video because I don't know if other people are thinking about it like this. I don't know if, it's funny. When I started personal training in 2006, I was, how old was I? I was 23, but I started a little earlier than that, maybe 2004. But anyway, when I was 21, I started personal training. I trained 50-year-old ladies all the time, and I was like, let's go. And I could not relate to them. I was like, yeah, and I was we just had a great time. But as now I'm one of the oldest in the company now, I feel I could relate absolutely to who's working out at the 42 studios, who's working out with us and what they're feeling and their parents and what they're going through. Like, I'm in there with you. We're all making decisions every day that reflect and will shape our future and shape how we're feeling today and shape how we're feeling tomorrow. So I was just reading this book and I need to start, I do, because I've committed to it. But now I have more of an intention of investing in me later. Like with our careers and your finances, you've planned those out. You've planned out those strategic moves so you could have things you want to. So I know all of you watching this have done this in some sort of, whether you have a degree or whether you have 401k, just as a great example. You've said, all right, I am willing to delay gratification. And what I think this kind of ties into is, it's exercise and eating right is something you always have to do. But maybe not delaying gratification. Maybe that wasn't the correct phrase, but maybe just investing, and the payoff will be later when you have that confidence and you have that pride that you did what it took to be a certain way when you got to that age. And you're like, hey, here I am. I'm able to pick up my grandkids. You guys remember that Super Bowl commercial, I think it was? It was I'm gonna leave you with this, the Super Bowl commercial, and it was the guy, the old dude, he was in his 80s, but he looked pretty old. He's working out with a kettlebell every morning, and he's putting it up on the shelf, and he's picking it up, and he's putting it up, and he's struggling, and it shows him every morning he's doing the same thing. Got chills thinking about this. And so then at the end, it shows him going to his grandchild, and the grandchild's like, Grandpa! Goes down, grabs him, picks him up, and hugs him. And I was like, oh my God, that's the best commercial I've ever seen. That was amazing. It was such a tearjerker because that dude was training just so he could be a certain way with his grandkids because that was important to him. Guys, I got a little teary-eyed. I'm out. Hope you got something from this. Later.